No, that sounds stupid. It's gonna take longer. I can't stop crying now. Okay, how do I end it? I'll like and subscribe. Hey guys, welcome to Squeaky Cooks. This is my first video ever, so let's do this. Today we are cooking my favorite Greek dessert ever. It's called Galaktoboureko, and it is a delicious custard, a semolina custard filled pastry. It's using phyllo pastry and it is delicious. Okay, so first you have to make the syrup because the syrup has to cool down, and it's going to be cold syrup on top of the hot pastry once the pastry comes out of the oven. So first things first is we need 2 cups of water. So we're just going to put that in a pot. And then we're going to put 2.5 cups of caster sugar. And we're just making a simple syrup. It's actually really easy to do. Okay, so that's done. We also want to add honey in here because honey will make sure that it doesn't crystallize when it's finished. So just a squeeze of honey. Cinnamon. Now, cinnamon, 1 stick of cinnamon goes into the syrup, and then we're just going to get a spoon and just make sure that's all mixed and pop it on the stove until it boils through. Okay, so we're going to make the custard now. 1/2 cup of butter into a pan. You're going to need a big pot for this actually. You need 2 liters of milk, so anything that holds more than 2 liters is ideal. So we've got 1/2 cup of butter, and we're going to need a cup of sugar as well. So okay, and what we do is we're going to add that onto the stove and melt that together. Okay, I'm going to get a bowl and add in 6 eggs to this. Okay, 6 eggs, done. Now we just want to whisk these. You can use a stand mixer or a beater for this. I'm just going to use a hand whisk. We can also add some vanilla into this. I'm going to add around 2, let's go with 3 teaspoons. And use extract, don't use vanilla essence. Okay, just whisk that together. So with the syrup, what we're looking for is all the granules of sugar have dissolved in that syrup. Okay, see the butter and the sugar has melted together and it's bubbling away. So now we're going to add the milk in. So we're just adding 2 liters of milk. And we'll just give that a stir. Okay, now we need 1 cup of semolina, which we're going to add into the pot. And then we're just going to stir it continuously so the custard thickens up. Make sure you're getting a fine semolina as well, because it does come in a coarse semolina. Oh, I need this whisk. Okay, let's wash the whisk. Okay, we're just gonna add in the semolina now. And then we are going to whisk continuously for about 5 minutes until it starts to thicken up. Okay, so the custard is thickening up a bit, so I'm gonna add those eggs into this. Now it's really important that you just keep whisking really, really fast because you don't want the eggs to turn into scrambled eggs. We need it to be a little bit thicker than this. All right, I think that's pretty good. Okay. All right, we will let that just rest there. And our syrup is cooling over this side. And now we're gonna get started on the phyllo. All right, so I've got about half a cup of butter melted here. We're gonna use that to layer in between the phyllo pastry. Now, we are in Sydney, Australia, and this brand is the best brand of phyllo pastry that you can get. It is Antonio phyllo pastry chilled, and you can find it in the cold section, like near the butter usually, in Coles or Woolies. Okay, so we need about, I would probably say 8 layers for the bottom and 8 layers for the top. Now work quick with phyllo pastry because it does dry out. Okay, now this pan is, I don't know the measurements, I will write it down below. But it is Williams Sonoma and it is my favorite pan. I use it for everything. And we are just going to spread some butter on the bottom of this. And then we're just going to keep layering the pastry. So let's go 1 here. And you're going to have to overlap them because they don't fit properly, which is totally fine. So just make sure you're going up the sides. And you just keep doing this with each layer. And then we're going to add the custard in and cook it. Okay, and might just put them the other way as well, just so we're covering all the sides. Doesn't matter if it falls apart. It's all gonna taste delicious in the end. Now you can eat this either cold or hot. I prefer cold, chilled overnight, but people also love it hot, fresh out of the oven. Okay, we're gonna get the custard and pour it on top of that phyllo. And this is how the custard looks. It's all jiggly, delicious. Okay, so just pour that all in. And then we're going to just pop those ones on top. And then we're going to start layering it again. Just layering that with the butter. And you can tuck in the excess on the sides. That's probably a neater or more traditional way to do this, but it all tastes the same in the end. Okay, so before this goes into the oven, you want to cut it first so it's easier to get each piece out after. You just want to go through the first layer. You don't have to go all the way to the bottom. We'll just score the top. Okay, so we're ready to put it in the oven. Now it gets cooked for about 40-45 minutes, depending on your oven, and the oven's been preheating at 180 degrees Celsius. So I'm just going to pop that in.
A few moments later.
Okay, I'm just getting this out of the oven now. That took about 40 minutes. And it is perfectly golden. Look at that, yum. Okay, now the last step is to get this syrup, which is now cold, and pour it over the top. I'm just gonna get out that cinnamon stick. Okay, now I'm just gonna pour that all over. Now it looks like a lot of syrup, but it is gonna soak in to all of that phyllo. You can hear it crackling. It's delicious. Okay, now I'm just gonna shake that a bit to let it all settle in. And that is it. That is Galaktoboureko. So you can have it hot now, or you can wait till tomorrow and eat it then. It's delicious cold. You just pop it in the fridge overnight, and all of that syrup will soak in and be delicious. Thanks so much for joining me in my first video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.